Good evening and welcome to Separated by Water, the podcast for fans in Ireland, north and south, or Irish people, north and south, of the teams in England, primarily the Premier League, but not necessarily. Tonight we have a special, yet again. There's a big match at the weekend. You may notice, if you're looking at the colours involved, it's Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. However, my name is Colin Campbell. I'm a Spurs season ticket holder. So the less said of a Tuesday night, the better. My co-host friend is Paul Galt, lifelong Nottingham Forest fan, and special guest tonight, Anthony Monaghan, who is our Newcastle United special investigator and reporter. But more of that in a wee minute. Paul, how are you?
I'm good. Just good. Last night was a bit of a disaster. I'm sure Anthony's feeling a lot happier about the game on Sunday coming up. Andy, who's joined us, jump in the comments, please. Let us know what you're thinking. Anthony, how are you? How's your optimism for the weekend?
Certainly building by the moment, building by the day. I think we've got your number, but from what I've seen over the past few days, I'm quietly confident, optimistic. I think we'll take all 3 points.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
It's a good start with big talk. Well, look, I think what we're going to do here is talk about the Newcastle active, and then later on we'll have a special feature. We'll call it Fast Five, where we will get to the thoughts and answers from Anthony. Come to that. Okay, Paul, do you want to kick us off? The big match at the weekend.
Yeah, I suppose, Anthony, before we get to talking about Sunday, sum up your season so far, and what your expectations are. Are they in the summertime? Are they in a better place now than you were, or is it pretty much as you thought?
Obviously, you can't hide away from losing Isak. I mean, that's a big disappointment for any team to lose a player of that caliber. But the other signings that we made, I think we brought in 5 or 6 good first team or strong squad players that's only going to enhance us for the season. Our Champions League run a couple of years ago, we only had 10 or 11 first team players. And there was one game I was at, it was against AC Milan. I think we had 3 keepers and 4 youth players on the bench because our squad was just so depleted by that stage. And that was only, I think, November or December. We didn't even make it through the group stage at that point. Looking at it now, you look at the team we put out against Bradford there last week. We had a very strong first 11 and a very strong bench for the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. When we've got Champions League and Premier League games around that, it just shows you that we're much stronger now than we were last season and the season before, definitely. In the background that I've got here, this is an image from my seat at the Barcelona game we had a couple of weeks ago. To say that we're playing against Barcelona in Champions League, yeah, well, there's certainly no complaints here. Like, we're moving up, we're going the right direction.
Okay, well, that sounds very positive. Can I ask you, building on that, what's the atmosphere amongst the fans? Is it one of optimism? Is there any? Where are they? Describe it to us.
The start of this season hasn't been so great. I mean, I think we've only 1 league win so far out of the 6 games, but we lost last minute to Liverpool and Arsenal. There's no great shame in that. We had a couple of draws that we should have won from. So maybe a bit of an anticlimactic start, if that's maybe the right phrase, but nobody in Newcastle, and I'm sure, Paul, you're probably the opposite right now, nobody's looking at this game and the next game thinking we have to win these. Newcastle are looking at the rest of the season and next season as with optimism, definitely. We are.
I think we lost Anthony there for a minute or two, but we'll get him back again. Paul, can I ask you? Are you fearful for the match?
Yeah. And if we play like we played last night, Colin, we're wide open in defence. Just to mention, we have another podcast that we done earlier, quick 20-minute thing with the guys, 2 Forest supporters charting the way back. We'll publish that later on this evening. So look out for that coming up, and please listen in and throw your comments in. We were wide open last night, Colin. Our defence was shocking, absolutely.
Yeah.
I texted you before the game and I said we're in for it's the win inside. Why? How wrong was I? We lost in the biggest possible way. We'll maybe touch. Will Ange be still there on Sunday? Yeah, I think he probably will still be there on Sunday. But if things go to expectations, I fully expect us to get beat by at least 2 or 3 goals. And if that is the case, I fully expect them to be gone in the international break. Is that what I want? No, it's not what I want. But is it what I expect? Yes, it is. Newcastle, I think, will have too much for us. The thing that's too hard to bear will be if Anthony Elanga comes in and clips our wings and scores a goal of the final nail in the coffin to it's just we're just having a bad season, Colin, and it's reminiscent of what you went through last year. And if you send me one more text saying it's what we are, mate, I'm going to send you a virus through your phone. I'm going to find a way of doing it. I'm telling you, it's what we are, mate. Oh God.
Yeah.
He's shocking.
I know. No, I'll stop that. Well, Paul, let me ask you a question. You lose on. Are you in a relegation battle?
Yeah, I think we're whilst Ange Postecoglou is still there. I think that we will be in a relegation battle. We will bomb out of Europe unless it all comes into play. And I'm going to do the two sides. We'll split it down the middle. The fors and against either side. For Ange Postecoglou, he is building. He's been dropped into a dressing room with full of people who, we quite honestly, they're probably just getting to know him. They're probably still half getting over Nuno. Morgan Gibbs White keeps on coming out and saying we will hit form and we will score goals and we're going to be good. And I think there's some of them seem to like what he's doing. Do they understand what he's doing? I hope so. I don't understand what he's doing. I can't see anything for rhyme or reason can I work out what he's trying to do. He's as it stands at the minute, I just can't see how he can get, and Anthony's back with us there. I just can't see how he can form a any optimism with the fans as it is at the minute. But anyway, we'll get back to Newcastle. We'll leave that one for another day. Anthony, sorry.
Okay, Anthony, can you hear us again?
Sorry, my camera was broken, but I could hear everything that you said there. So,
that's okay. Well, then you were just hearing how Paul said Forest are going to win 6-0. So I'm wondering how you feel about that. You know,
it's Ange hasn't done anything with Forest so far that would lead you to believe that he can beat a team of Newcastle's quality. If Newcastle turn up and play the way we know they can, I don't think there's going to be much of a competition from what I've seen so far. This game last season was a couple of humdingers. Forest were a really strong side, and I think a lot of teams weren't fearful of them. They respected them. I think that's been eroded completely now, and I don't think Forest are the team now that they were even 6 months ago.
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it?
I'm hearing you saying that. I'm hearing you saying that. I come into this season, Anthony, thinking, wow, we have a season ahead of us. We've got Europe. And we can't say it's tiredness. We can't say it's the volume of games. We can't say it's injuries, although they are starting to mount. The injuries are starting to mount now. So there's a whole litany of things that happened to Spurs last year is starting to happen to us. And
it's who you are, mate.
Anyway, sorry, it's who we are, mate. I'll tell you. I'll sort that one out for you. Anthony. High points, low points of the season. Give me your high points so far. You were talking there a minute ago about sitting watching Real Madrid. That must be high points sitting watching Real Madrid
Barca
at the St James's.
Barca.
Or Barca, was it?
Yeah, Barca.
Oh, it's a real treat. I mean, that doesn't happen to us very often. I think maybe the high point so far is seeing our new centre forward, Big Nick, and I won't do his surname injustice here, but seeing him score goals. I mean, spending 69 million on a young player who 3 years ago was in the third tier of German football, you kind of go, that seems a bit risky, but He's put the ball in the back of the net. That's all we're paying him for. That's what we paid the money for, and he's done it. That for him to have started scoring so quickly into his Newcastle career, that's got to be a big positive for us.
I'm going to ask you a question, Anthony.
Well, you have one go at his surname for us. Just one go at his surname for us.
Go ahead.
Wutamandi, as I think.
That'll do, right. I remember he
Good
signed
effort.
from Linfield.
Good effort.
He signed from Linfield, didn't he?
Big Nick is what we call him here.
Billy, big Nick. Good idea. I asked Paul there if Forest lose at the weekend or they in a relegation battle. If Newcastle, let's not rule for it. If Newcastle lose this match at the weekend, I'm not saying are they in a relegation battle, but is the Champions League kind of bizarre aspiration over, i.e. qualification for next season by the league?
It's a bit early in the season to be writing that off, but you've got to think for every point that we lose compared to our competition, it makes it that little bit harder. But when you look at the league table right now, who's second, third, and fourth? Potentially Sunderland, Bournemouth, and Palace. I really don't think they're the competition.
Tottenham, that's Spurs.
Who? Sorry.
Well, yeah.
Last season, 17th last season. Nah.
I just wanted to say that when Paul got a wee bit confused, whenever Spurs go up to Newcastle and play in all white, that will be like watching Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
However,
I don't think so.
No, well, probably not.
Anthony, you mentioned there, but looking at the bench and having some academy players, etc. How's Eddie Howe managing the rotation of the players? Do you think he's doing a good job of it, or what do you think?
So far, so good. Yeah. I mean, I was shocked to see that team against Bradford in the League Cup. He had a handful of international players on the pitch from the whistle. I thought you're crazy, with the amount of games coming up and all the travel that we've got to do. We're playing away games in Europe, followed by a game in the south of England. You're thinking, surely you want to save these players, but so far so good. No complaints. And look, Eddie Howe's got a lot of credit in the bank when it comes to Newcastle fans. He would have to fall a long way from grace before we start questioning his tactics, his coaching, his approach to football, because he's done so many good things for us in the past few years.
Yeah,
interesting.
I have to agree with you. I think he's an excellent manager. Before Colin gets into the nitty-gritty of the Forest game and you start to depress me more, with Postecoglou's start with Forest and the run of form even last night, do you see this as a must-win for Eddie Howe or for Newcastle? Just like you must win this one. You're at home. You have a team that doesn't know how they're playing. They don't know. They're basically they're in an awful mess.
I don't say it's a must-win. There's no pressure on the team or the manager at the moment, but it's certainly they would expect to win this one. I think we've scored 9 goals in our last 3 games. That's good form coming into a team, like you say, is in a bit of disarray, who don't have an identity and have struggled for points and for any sort of creativity on the pitch. So it's not must win, but there's definitely an expectation here. Yeah.
I think it's probably if Newcastle are to reach their dreams, but I think the word is probably expectation. They expect to win. These are games that Newcastle will expect to win if they're going to fulfill, be regular Champions League contenders. I mean, that's what I've tried to say about Spurs before, about their Ange, that they were games that we expect to win. And they've already had a couple, Spurs that is. They should have won and didn't. I'm not saying on the 97 minutes they should have won, but I'm saying before the match you look on paper and you say Wolves, Bournemouth, even Brighton away, they really should be winning, and they're not. So, and that's why I wonder, you've got this second tier league perhaps, which includes Spurs, Newcastle, should have included Forest based on last season, Villa maybe, the 3rd and 4th place, or 4th and 5th place, and that's where maybe our real league is. So that's why I keep an eye on these teams, and that's just one thing I wonder about. When I know he's a lot of money, a lot of value in the bank, so to speak, a lot of credence with the fans. But you what 1 win in 6? You said, yeah.
Yeah.
And Forest are no wins in 6. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Do you see, Anthony? I'm just asking you, and I would love you to mention one name, but let's see how you go. Who will Newcastle's match winner be at the weekend? Who's going to stand out for them and beat Forest?
There's a couple of names, and I'm going to stay away from the elephant in the room. But Tonali can dominate that midfield. Gordon can terrorise the defence, and Big Nick can put the ball in the back of the net. And all we need is one or two. Well, there's some other guy that we bought recently. I can't remember his name. But we've got now a few match winners on that pitch that if one of them has a really good game, they could turn the whole game around by themselves. And that's kind of a really rich position to be in, somewhere we haven't been for a while. Yeah, we had Isak, but if he didn't perform, we didn't perform. Or Guimaraes for a while, if he wasn't performing, then the whole team didn't perform. But I think now we've got 3 or 4 different players that could turn around the game by themselves, and yeah, that just increases our chances. And
Okay.
Come on, do you think Elanga's going to do the business for you against his old lovely team, Nottingham Forest?
I mean, I think Anderson did it to us last season, so yeah, it would be poetic justice that Elanga does it. But for all his potential, I don't think he's done an awful lot for us so far. He's not delivered the end product.
Wow, it's funny you say that, Anthony, because I was cutting vegetables in the kitchen the other night. I was listening to it in the radio call, and I was just sitting listening to it in the radio as I was doing, and Newcastle were playing, and Elanga, they just kept on saying Elanga, the speed, up the right wing, and I think he has to be a great addition to any team. The speed he has, like one that will stick to my memory for forever, is running through the Man United defence last year. He just left the halfway line and ran at them, and there was 3 or 4 defenders, and they didn't know what to do with him. And he scares the life out of me. I loved him when he was playing for us, and I'm dreading playing against him. I really would. I don't think Nico Williams. Murillo was injured last night. I just don't think Nico Williams will have enough in his bag to handle him. I just don't think he will. But look, maybe we just might get a wee surprise on Sunday. Maybe either I would take a draw. I would take a point right now. I would take 1 point right now. Scoreless draw, but it's not going to be. There'll be goals in that game. There will be goals. No doubt about it.
Paul. Let me put a scenario to you. It all falls into place. Ange ball. Wow! It all sudden happens. Forest win. It all clicks. Are you happy, Bunny? Is that Ange in place then, or is one match?
I'm going to pose a question to you first, Colin. I'm going to pose a question to you first. What is Ange ball? Because nobody seems to be able to tell me. And it was a serious question.
Overloading the attacking areas, playing a high line, and leaving as much room as the other team wants in your own defensive line. They left so much space in between the defenders and the goalkeeper that you could have let a swimming pool or launched a plane. So that's what I know. I'm sounding sarcastic, but
no, I won't be happy about it, and I'll tell you why. I just don't like the fact that we're always going to be conceding goals. And what I can see so far, we're going to be conceding goals. And that's us back to Elanga and your strikers at the minute, Anthony. I think they'll be able to turn us inside out on Sunday, unless he changes something, or unless that manager's not there on Sunday. But I think he will still be there on Sunday. We've quite a few people listening to us at the minute. Jump in the comments, lads. Please throw in any comments. I don't know if you're Newcastle supporters, Forest supporters, Spurs supporters, or whatever. Throw any comments or questions you have for Anthony while you're in. Anthony, what's the mood like at St James's Park at the minute? Is it good? Is it buoyant?
It's been incredible.
Yeah,
I've been to 2 games so far this season, and it's deafening. And they're singing all match long, and it's all positive stuff. And even at some of the away games we're hearing now, like the fans that you hear are the Newcastle fans all game long. Everybody here's loving life, loving football, loving Eddie Howe and our new Saudi overlords. And there's not a bad word to be said about anybody involved in the club at the minute.
Okay. Well, maybe is it a good time to come to Fast Five? I'm starting to broach into some
that's
of those.
perfect. Yep.
Okay, Anthony, we're ready for Fast Five.
So we'll explain. Just explain what Fast Five is, and then we'll get straight into it.
Fast Five is a concept on Separated by Water, whereby we have a guest, and we ask them 5 questions within a minute for their opinion, and the answer must either be yes or no, or a no. At the end of those 5, Paul, I'll ask the questions. Anthony will answer in respect to Newcastle. At the end of that, Paul will select one of those 5 answers and ask Anthony to explain and elaborate a little bit more on his yes or no answer. That's Fast Five. Perfect. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, Anthony. You hear me okay? Question number 1. Did Newcastle handle the Isak affair well?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 2. Will you finish above Spurs this season?
Definitely. Yes.
Yes, okay. Question number 3. Is Eddie Howe under any kind of pressure if they lose at the weekend?
No.
Okay. Question number 4. Would you prioritise winning a trophy over your league position this season?
No.
Okay. Question number 5. Are you pleased with how things have panned out so far under the Saudi ownership?
Yes.
Okay.
Explain.
So just to recap. Okay. You want? Go ahead. Just to recap. You said Isak you handled well. You'll definitely finish above Spurs. Howe's under no pressure whatsoever. You won't prioritise a trophy over your league position. And you're pleased, although your body language was telling there, you're pleased with how the Saudi ownership has panned out so far. Paul, do you want to select one of those? Sorry, maybe you did.
Yep. Explain the last one. Explain why you're happy with the Saudi ownership. What's happened so far with them?
You look at where we were before they took over. Rock bottom, no wins in 11. We were in a position where no team had previously escaped relegation at that point. We probably didn't get our first choice or second choice or 15th choice in manager. I think Eddie Howe was so far down the list that a few of us had to go and look up who he was. But you fast forward, we're now nearly 4 years into our ownership. Champions League twice, a trophy in the cabinet. The team is youthful, energetic, playing good football, and actually giving some big teams a scare. We demolished Arsenal twice last season on the way to our Carabao Cup win and beat Liverpool in the final. We had a real couple of humdingers with Man City. We demolished Spurs. We're humbling Man United on a regular basis. 4 years ago, we were looking at championship football at this time of the year. And you look at some of the results that we've had and some of the accomplishments we've had since then, how could anybody not be pleased with that? Now, to say I'm pleased but not, you just kind of think that there could have been more. You think whenever you're taken over by the wealthiest conglomerate in the world that we could have been spending billions in a new stadium by now. Why isn't Messi and Ronaldo and Mbappe our front three? Because the rules were created to prevent us from doing what Chelsea and Man City and PSG and Barca and Real Madrid have done over the past decade. There's no doubt about it. The PSR and the FSP rules, or whatever they are anti-Newcastle, anti-Saudi rules. They're not there to maintain football. They're there to keep Newcastle in their box. So they're probably looking back at that day in November 2021. We probably thought we'd be better than we are now. But looking back over the past 4 years, there can be no complaints.
Yeah, well, I accept what you're saying there, and I do. I suppose the word you put in that is steady progression. I think that Newcastle, if it wasn't for the PSR rules and regulations, I think you would have that front three, and you would be winning cups the way Man City bought their cups and the way that Chelsea bought them back in the day as well. But that day, and whether the rules stay in place or not, we'll wait and see. Interesting comment in from Cal there. I'll read it out to you guys, and I'll ask both of you. He says, "Hi guys, in philosophy, I'm a big fan of Ange, but do you think his styles is more suited to outside the Premier League? I think he would be good in the Bundesliga. I don't watch the Bundesliga. What do you think, Colin? Do you think he'd be suited to it, or?"
Funny, it's a good question, because people have said about how suitable he was, how well he did in Scotland and in Japan and Australia, and the inference is that they're weaker leagues. And even that aside, about the Bundesliga, from what I've seen, it's quite a powerful, possibly France, possibly Spain. But he would need a good team. He needs I think that his way of playing to be successful has to be played by a very strong team. I think you saw teams when they did well overpowered the other team. I don't think a relegation candidate can play that open at the back, quite frankly. I don't think lesser players can go to the Bernabeu and play in the Ange way and not get tanked. So it's a very interesting question. I think up to a point it would do better in other leagues, but maybe not the Bundesliga.
What do you think, Anthony? Do you think he's been found out in the Premier League? Like that question posed at you, but do you think he's been found out in the Premier League?
No. I think his style of football suits a team that is dominant. Like a Celtic, where they can go out and just crush other teams in the Scottish Premier League, without having to defend or chase games or be under pressure. But when you put him in the Spurs team that he had, and we know they had a lot of injuries, so they're having to punch up in some respect, and I don't think his style of football allows that. He's not tight enough at the back. He doesn't hold teams off and then hit them with a break or potentially play that way. He's kind of expansive, progressive, attacking football that Spurs didn't have the players for. Forest don't have the players for, especially when you're talking about playing some of the teams. When you look at the strength of the top half of the league now with Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool,
Spurs.
No, his what? But his style of football cannot compete against those players unless he's got a dominant team like a Man City or an Arsenal currently with those kind of players. I don't think he's cut out for.
Yeah, agree.
The Premier League,
it's a style that requires dominance to over.
Yeah, he doesn't have the team of the players, and he won't get a job at a club of that stature, given his current track record in the Premier League. So I think his Premier League days are finished. He might go to the likes of Portugal or the Netherlands or Belgium or maybe the Bundesliga and get a big team and then dominate that league. But he won't do it in the Premier League, I don't think.
Yeah, a great question, Carl. Thanks for that. And for my tuppence in that, I hope he is playing in the Bundesliga soon, and we find out. As sooner the better.
He might do well.
Okay, prediction time. Sorry, Anthony.
He might do well in the Championship. You never know. We'll find out next season.
Well, he always wins a trophy in a second season.
Yeah, that's what I was. You win the Championship.
Get the jokes out of the way, lads. Get the jokes out of the way. My text will be ready on Saturday night. Give me your predictions for the weekend. For your game, Colin, who you playing Spurs?
We're playing Leeds tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Okay, 12:30. Prediction.
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I think that Leeds. We've said nice things about Leeds. They'll be up for it, or we. I don't like predicting draws. Spurs will shave it by 1 goal. It'll either be 2-1 or 3-2.
Can you go to the Forest game and tell me how you think it'll go?
I would say a 4-1 home win. I think that's what I'm looking at.
Paul?
Okay. I'm just playing about with a couple of images here that I want to just close with. That I just bear with me 2 seconds, and I will be back with you. I think we might just have a surprise for you. I think we might just get a draw at you on Saturday. I think we might get a. I'm hoping we'll get a draw. I can't hope for much more. And I hope Anderson does his thing, sticks one in. He's starting to take shots from outside the box now, and he's a wonderful player, and I hope Elanga doesn't manage to pull one off, but we'll just have to wait and see how that all goes. I didn't dig out a file. Colin, I was trying to dig up a file there. I sent this to Anthony last night, so I'll just do the Anthony, would you see, let me just see if I can find this or not. If I can find it now, hold on now. No, we'll have to leave it to another day. Oh, yes, here we go. Would you see that?
I mean,
would you see that about Newcastle at any stage of the weekend?
No, not unless you're outside a gay club in Brighton. That would be where I would be seeing that in an away game. But my goodness, where did that come from?
Funny you say that. Funny you say that.
That is a lovely.
Funny you say that.
Isn't that a lovely Gant? That's a Gant special holiday shirt.
Was there any sort of irony whenever you were putting that on? Did you think, this is...
No, that's that'll be the new Newcastle away kit next year. It's my pride and joy. I love it.
Did you buy it?
Lovely shirt.
Pardon? Did you buy that when you were down in Brighton, did you? Did you buy that when you were down in Brighton?
No, I wasn't in Brighton. No, I bought it in Belfast. It was reduced, but about 12%.
No.
I did buy it. And I was sober. Hungover, but
it was reduced, no doubt. No.
No.
Do you have it plugged in charging at the moment, do you?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah. It runs on. I get about.
Excellent.
I get about 36 miles to the gallon. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, guys, that sort of sums it up. I cannot wish you luck at the weekend and Sunday. No doubt, you will send me a text at some stage, Anthony, and let me know how badly we've done. I'm not even sure I can watch this one, to be honest. Colin, good luck against Leeds tomorrow. I don't think that'll be a walkover either. Are you at home or away?
No, well, not. We're away. But after Wolves, we better being away maybe and having Leeds come on to us a wee bit. Romero's playing, I believe. Solanke not. So I am looking for a nice tight defence with breakaways. Yeah, I'll do rightly.
Yeah,
I'll do me.
Okay, and thank you very much for coming on and giving us a preview of the game. And you want to add before you go with it? And you want to add before you go?
No. Just looking forward to this one on Sunday. I think it's. Yeah, I'll speak to you Sunday night.
You will. No bother. Okay, guys, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Thanks for that. And
enjoy your
if anybody's watching this, please like it and share it. Stick a wee like in and subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good weekend and stay safe, guys. Thank you very much.